on the line, you can't fold and you can't bend. Y'all be playing it safe and I be going for the win. Remember back when they was doubting on the kid. Now they tuned in cause my game too legit.
Yo, what's going on, Headliner Nation? Got an awesome series for you starting today with our quarterback position. Now, we go through and we do all these deep diving stats and we do our rankings and things like that. This is new though, and this is going to be a lot of fun. We've partnered up with our friends over at Run the Sims. Justin Freeman, you see him here on the channel doing some DFS stuff with us. Pat Mayo over there. Awesome guys, absolutely love getting to know them and working with that brand over there. And today we're going to be utilizing their brand Run the Sims because they have a do-it-yourself projection tool over there where you can go in and manipulate all sorts of data to make the projections look exactly how you think. And that's really fun to do, especially with all of you being able to see me do it, because it really puts a lot of that information right into your head at that time. We can talk about all the things that we think that are going to happen, and we can put names up on rankings. But for you to see the hard data as we change it and as we talk about it, and to see where guys rise and fall in the fantasy football rankings, that does an awful lot to really help you gauge and understand where ceilings and floors lie at for different players. And not only that, what numbers they would need to hit for that to happen. So if you look at a guy and say, there's no way he hits those numbers, then you know in your projections, you got to move them lower. That is really, really, really a great tool for you to use and an awesome way for you to take advantage of Run the Sims. And we're going to be using that here on the video today as we project the top 12 quarterbacks in fantasy football here in the 2021 season. Do me a favor, before we get into the content though, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to subscribe if you're new here to the Fantasy Headliners. And as we go through this, in the comments down below, I want you to leave some comments and let me know some of the numbers that I'm talking about and showing to you and changing. Do you agree with them? Do you think they should be higher? Do you think they should be lower? Let me know down in the comments below. This is going to be an awesome video, so let's jump right into it. All right, Headliner Nation, here we are on runthesims.com. Absolutely love this 2021 regular season DIY player projections. So when everything is basically filled out to begin with, when you go in there, you don't have to put all of your information in. They put their own projections in first and then let you manipulate different scenarios, how you think guys are going to play. It's really a lot of fun and very interesting. So I encourage you all, head over to Run the Sims and sign up over there. It is one heck of a model that they have right now. Today, talking about the quarterback position. So we've already mentioned that, what guys can finish top 12. Let's go to projections by position, and we're going to start at the quarterback position. And right now, the top 12, based on projections that Run the Sims, have Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and Ryan Fitzpatrick as the top 12. So let's go in and adjust some of these stats. Let's go in and manipulate this a little bit to see really how these guys could end up playing out, okay? Let's start with a guy that's at number 2 right now that may or may not surprise some people, okay? Lamar Jackson. A lot of people either love Lamar and have him up this high, or don't like Lamar and have him down towards maybe like low-end quarterback 1. Here's the thing. If you like Jalen Hurts, you got to like Lamar Jackson 10 times more, okay? We can't give Jalen Hurts a pass and say this is a guy he's going to run all over the place, helps his upside, and then completely just say, I don't want Lamar Jackson. So let's talk about Lamar Jackson. We're going to go to inputs by team, and then we're going to go to Baltimore. And now we're going to go in and we're going to mess around a little bit with what we have in here. Right now, he shows up as the QB2. I'm going to hit the reset button on these because I was messing around with a little bit earlier. So I'm going to hit the reset button on these, and let's look at Lamar Jackson in particular. All right, so right now, interception rate of 1.9. Obviously, the passing here, he's getting 98% of the market share. Nothing with the receiving here. For the rushing, he's getting 29% of the market share and averaging 6 yards per carry. And we're also giving him 30% of the touchdowns as well. And when we say market share, basically the touchdowns that are amongst the team as a whole. So, taking a look right now at the passing, obviously we know he's going to have the majority of the passing, right? So if we want to say, man, he's really not going to get that many yards, or he's really not going to, what we can do in here is we can manipulate a little bit. So right now the rush rate for the Baltimore Ravens is 48%. Let's go ahead and drop it back to 50, or let's go ahead and pop it up to 50, okay? Why? Well, because we're going to say basically they're going to run it more than they're going to throw it. So we're going to manipulate that a little bit to go to a 50% rush rate. And let's say his interception percentage, let's give it a 2.5. Let's just say, again, maybe not as accurate as we would like. Let's go to 2.5 there, okay? So we up that interception rate. We basically up the rate of their rushing attempts as well to give us more passing, okay? Basically, or to give us less passing, to give us more rushing attempts. Rush TD rate is at 44%. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. If we wanted to say touchdown-wise that maybe Lamar Jackson wouldn't run for as many or wouldn't pass for as many touchdowns as we would like, we would change either this touchdown, these overall touchdowns here and leave rush TD rate the same, or we would bring rush TD rate up and say they're going to run for more touchdowns than they are going to pass for. We're going to leave Lamar Jackson all the way through here right now because as you saw there, we're going to hit save because we changed his interception rate and we said that basically they're going to run it a little bit more than what the projections show here. We go back here and this drops Lamar Jackson down to QB5 because at this point we're saying passing-wise, he's only going to come in with about 3,900 yards and he's going to throw 13 interceptions. He's going to complete 339 of 521 passing attempts. So 521 really isn't that much. When you consider looking at who we have here, it is by far the lowest outside of Russell Wilson, who they have projected to be at 514 right now. So let's go back to inputs by team. Let's say market share-wise, let's say he doesn't end up running as much as we would have liked to, okay? I don't think that necessarily happens, but again, we can mess with it a little bit because this allows us the ability to do that. This allows us the ability to go in and change some of these numbers and manipulate them so it looks as if he could do a little bit more or a little bit less. And down here you look 96% the market share right now. This is the total for the entire team. So we got to get 4 more percent in there. Let's basically give 4 more percent of the market share to Gus Edwards. That's still going to leave Lamar Jackson at quarterback 5. So we come back over here. We look through it. Lamar Jackson, boom. Quarterback 5 all the way across. So we essentially at that point said, hey, Lamar Jackson, you're going to throw a little bit more interceptions than what we would like. You're going to throw for a little bit less yards than what we would like. And you're going to run a little bit. So 804 yards. So even if we said, going back to the inputs by team here, even if we said Lamar Jackson only gets 25% of the rushing yards on the team, 35 go to J.K. Dobbins, and 34 go to Gus Edwards, and we manipulate the interception percentage and make that higher, and we say that they're going to run the ball more in Baltimore than what they have already, which is absolutely insane to think about. Even if we say all of those things, right now his floor would be quarterback 5. So if there's anybody out there saying, oh man, there's no way that Lamar Jackson could be a quarterback 2, if we're talking about his floor is basically quarterback 5. So yeah, Lamar Jackson definitely could pop all the way up to number 2 very, very easily. What about Dak Prescott? Let's take a look at Dak Prescott for a second. We're going to go down to Dallas here. Rushing-wise, we know he's not going to get a whole lot. The rush rate they've got set at 44% right now for the Dallas Cowboys. Do they really think they're going to run that much? Are they going to be able to? let's take a look at what happens if we say rush rate, we're going to drop it down to 40%. Okay, we're going to drop that down to 40%, meaning they're going to have to pass the ball more often. Dak Prescott pops all the way up to quarterback 2 with 5,038 yards, completing 423 passes on 639 attempts. And that's just on 40% rush rate. What if we had to go even further than that? I'm not going to go further than that, but let's take a look at what if they have to run more plays? Again, what if they get into a lot of high-scoring events where they're getting out there, they're going down the field, they're pushing the ball down the field, scoring. The defense is coming out, they're giving up touchdowns easily. Offense is going, and basically the offense is just going to be on and off, on and off, on and off. Let's bump this up to 1,150, okay? We're going to bump it up to 1,150 total plays. We're going to save it. That could make Dak Prescott the quarterback 1. Because now we're saying he's going to have 5,325 yards. He's got a 12.2 interception percentage. So even that interception percentage is still sitting right there at 12.2. Knowing he's going to have to throw the ball more often is just going to lead to more opportunities. 35.5 touchdowns projected right there. Again, not going to project a whole lot on the rushing side yard-wise. But that right there shows you just how easy it could be for quarterback 1 to be Dak Prescott. It is within the realm of possibility to see those numbers. And that's why I like Run the Sim so much, because we can sit here and talk to you all day long about this is what we think, these are the numbers that we have, this is why. But you're seeing actually hard data be manipulated so you can see it change in real time and how we're going back and forth in between things. And I think that really, really helps you gauge a lot better what could happen with these guys. Let's go down a little bit further. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts next, because Jalen Hurts is a guy, I don't love Jalen Hurts. Not because I think he's a bad player. I just don't think he is as consistent of a quarterback as we would like to see. Right now, we're saying on here on Run the Sims, they're projecting 27% market share for rushing, averaging 5.7 yards, and they're giving him 25% of the touchdown market share for rushing attempts as well. But let's go all the way down here, all right? Let's go all the way down here. This interception rate is at 2.7%. We're going to bump that. We're going to bump that up a little bit. We're going to bump it up to 3.5 because, unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of Jalen Hurts being able to complete a whole bunch of passes. We saw last year where he was getting to the point where he was barely completing 50% of his passes in like overall. Okay, do we think he's going to take that big of a step forward? That's where concerns come into play for me. So for passing wise, I want to manipulate that a little bit, okay? I want to say that his interception percentage is going to go up to 3.5. That's going to keep him right around that quarterback 11 mark. This is essentially saying here, he's going to complete 359 of his 576 attempts. That right there is going to bring you out to, and let me do the hard math here real quick, 576. That's going to bring you out to a 62% completion percentage. That's where that's going to pop that number out there right to you. Jalen Hurts, this interception percentage sitting at around 20, might be a little bit on the higher side, but instead of saying, oh, hey, this 20 I'm manipulating it to show basically if he throws another interception, that's going to be less completions. That might be a little bit on the high side, but if we were to bring that down and bring those completion percentages down by a decent amount, then at that point, where is Jalen Hurts going to finish? So we're saying right now about quarterback 11, like best case scenario. That's best case scenario. I don't know if I want to put a whole lot. I don't know if I want to put a whole lot of trust in that. If his upside is quarterback 11 with as much running as he's going to be doing, That's not a whole lot to me. That's concerning. This right here is saying what? He's going to throw 20 interceptions. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Maybe a little bit less than that. Go about that 18 mark or so. But man, that would take him throwing for over 4,000 yards. I mean, we've already basically said with Lamar Jackson that Lamar Jackson's going to throw for under 4,000 yards. Do you think Jalen Hurts is going to throw for more yards than Lamar Jackson? I mean, if you do, then the numbers make sense. But if you don't, these numbers don't make sense. Then you got to bring these yards down by quite a bit. And if you bring those yards down, this rank here, that's becoming an issue. One way we can manipulate that a little bit for rushing rate, let's bump rushing rate up to 48%. So let's go 48% on rushing ability or rushing rate here, because that's also going to mess with Jalen Hurts a little bit. We're going to save that. It is keeping him at quarterback 11 right now, but that is essentially, where is that bringing his yards? So that's bringing his yards under 4,000 yards. But we also changed the rushing rate too. Okay, so we also changed the rushing rate. So we got to possibly say here, okay, Jalen Hurts is going to get 22% of the rushing market share. We're going to give Miles Sanders 47%. Kerryon Johnson, it shows at 5%. Now, obviously, he's no longer there, so we're going to take that away. Let's go ahead and go back to zeros here for him. So we're going to go zeros there. Let's give Boston Scott, let's give him a nice round 10%. And we're going to give Kenneth Gainwell, let's go ahead and tack that last 6% on for him. That's going to put us, actually, let's bring Kenneth Gainwell down a little bit. Let's take him to 13. Let's take him to 13. And for Jordan Howard, we're going to bump him up to 7. That's going to give us 100%. Let's save that. Go back to our projections. Jalen Hurts coming in at 640 rushing yards on 113 attempts. Just under 4,000 passing yards. 19 interceptions. So we even brought that interception down a little bit. 26.4 touchdowns. Okay. So even with this 26, that Lamar Jackson, we've got at 30. We've got him at 26. But we're saying Ryan Fitzpatrick is only going to throw one more touchdown than what Jalen Hurts will. 29 for Ryan Tannehill. 24 for Tua. 26 for Derek Carr. 30 for Baker Mayfield. So with Jalen Hurts, that 26, I mean, we could probably even go a little bit higher. I don't want to take that down anymore, though. But even when we go through and we manipulate the data, we're seeing with Jalen Hurts that QB 11 area is probably his ceiling. Like, this area right here is probably the highest the guy is going to be able to go. I don't expect him to get much higher than that. What about Ryan Tannehill? Let's go take a look real quick at the Tennessee Titans and see what will happen if we manipulate that data a little bit. Rush rate, we've got at 47%. And we're going to talk about this quite a bit when we talk about Derrick Henry. So when I do projecting the top fantasy football quarterback or running backs, we're going to talk about Derrick Henry more often. But let's go ahead and take this rush rate down a little bit. Let's say 44%. Okay? Let's say we change that rush rate to 44%. Ryan Tannehill, he's going to come in right now, quarterback 11. Okay? So just dropping that rush rate a little bit has already pushed Ryan Tannehill up quite a bit. Let's say rush. So when we did the projections, when we go back to projections by position, Ryan Tannehill now comes in at quarterback 11. We're still not over 30 touchdowns for him. With Julio Jones and with A.J. Brown, I don't know how the guy doesn't get over 30 touchdowns this year. So I'm going to drop back the rushing touchdown rate just a tad. Let's bring it down from 44 to 42. Okay, we do that. Save. Quarterback 11 there for Ryan Tannehill. So he's still coming in at quarterback 11. We've just now put him up over those 30 touchdowns. This interception percentage, or these interceptions of 13.6 interceptions, I don't love that. This 2.4 interception rate, not a big fan of it because he's been highly efficient over the last couple of years. Let's manipulate that data a little bit. Let's drop this interception percentage. Let's drop this down to a solid 1.9. Okay? Let's go to 1.9. If we can get it to work here. 1.9. Oh, my Lord. 1.9. There we go. That's still going to leave him at quarterback 11. So Ryan Tannehill, if interceptions come down to 10, throwing 30 touchdowns, and for passing yards, we're going to sit right around that 4,800 mark. Quarterback 11, I mean, that's pretty good for Ryan Tannehill right there. I'm a little bit higher on him, and even by playing with this data here, to me it shows we might need to bump Ryan Tannehill even down a little bit because of that. Because right now, by you look at these numbers, this is a pretty large cap to go over with how much they run the football. That's a pretty large amount of numbers, right? I mean, to think that Ryan Tannehill is going to get closer to 5,000 yards and maybe throw closer to 40 touchdowns, we're probably asking for a little too much there. And because of that, quarterback 11 may end up being his ceiling as well. So we're getting a really good look now at what some of these guys could look like. Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in here at quarterback 13. He was quarterback 11. And I'm going to go back here in a second and reset everything so we can see it a little bit better. I mean, we look through here like Kirk Cousins coming in with 4,595 yards, 12 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 27 touchdowns. With much as they run the football, it's going to be really hard for him to go over that. What about Trevor Lawrence? Like, how far do we think Trevor Lawrence can go? Let's go take a quick look at Jacksonville. One of the last ones that we'll take a look at here for this. Okay, listen. They're trying to say Gardner Minshew he's not. Okay, don't even worry about it. Okay, so we're saying rush rate is going to be 41% for this team. They're only calling for 997 plays total. And that's part of the reason why Trevor Lawrence is so low right now, because we're saying that they're not even going to break 1,000 yards. So let's go over that. Let's say they're going to, or not 1,000 yards, but 1,000 plays. Let's say they go to 1,050 plays. If I can get this to work here. 1,050 plays. Every time. There we go. Got it. If you just let it go too long. Rush rate, it's staying at 41%. Let's bump these touchdowns up here a little bit. Let's bump these touchdowns up to a crisp 38.5. Let's go with that. 38.5. So let's bump those touchdowns up a little bit as well. Trevor Lawrence, we are giving him some room on the ground here. 18% for the rushing. 24% here for the touchdowns. 2.7 interception rate. Rush rate, keeping it right at 41%. The rush rate TD, we're keeping it at 35. Let's go to 30. Let's say they're going to throw for more touchdowns. All right. So now we've really tried to push the data in favor of passing the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay. We've really pushed the data towards that. That still is only getting Trevor Lawrence up to quarterback 15, saying he's going to throw for 26 touchdowns, 4,409 passing yards. Interception-wise, going to be right around that 16 mark. So Trevor Lawrence, I know a lot of people are drafting him saying, oh, he's going to go above and beyond in quarterback 1. This might be something we want to be a little bit safe with, because if we don't think that this plays number here for Jacksonville is going to go up, meaning they're going to have to run more plays on offense, then that might not end up going up very high either. So that's part of the problem with Trevor Lawrence right now is this play number. Like how many plays are Jacksonville actually going to run? And touchdown wise, like how many touchdowns are they actually going to score? I mean, let's bump it up to 40 total touchdowns. We're going to bump it up to 40 total touchdowns. That's still only going to put Trevor Lawrence right in that QB 15 territory. So right here, and that's saying now we're getting closer to 27 touchdowns through the air. So again, not really, we didn't go through everybody here, right? We didn't go through every single person. We didn't say these are going to be everybody. I want to go through, we're going to reset that. Projections by position. We reset projections by position. So this is giving us a little bit better of an idea of, again, where people are going to land. Right now, looking at the data for what Run the Sims has in here, we're looking at Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson being there at the top with Josh Allen right behind him. Kyler Murray's another interesting one as well because of just how well he played last season. People forget how good he was playing before he got hurt. So Kyler Murray, another good one. We saw Dak Prescott. His ceiling could go as high as quarterback 2, even quarterback 1. Jalen Hurts, even messing with some of the data there and saying even a little bit less favorable and more favorable stats. Even if you go that route, you're still going to be right at this low-end quarterback 1, kind of as a ceiling. So this is really, again, really fun to play around with, but we're going to be going all the way through all the positions. So we got quarterback today, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. We'll be doing the same thing, manipulating the data so everybody can check it out. Hey, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Went through a whole lot here, a lot of projections, manipulated tons of data. And again, I think this gave you a really good idea of where some players could land. This is a great tool by Run the Sims. Absolutely love it. Like I said in the video, I'm going to be doing this for all the positions. So keep an eye out for running back, wide receiver, and tight end as well. Before you get out of here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Again, all of the information that we talked about. Is there anything you do agree with, don't agree with? What would you change? And things of that nature. I'm going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you on the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.